All right, today's talk is about FHA versus conventional and which one is better for first-time home buyers, and actually which one is better in general. This is a question I get a lot. What is FHA? Or I want FHA, or I only want conventional, I don't want FHA, right? And honestly, most people don't really know the difference or what they are. They're essentially the same exact loan. They're both 30-year loans, they're fixed, and that's all you really need to know. The government, the federal government, has made it so FHA and conventional are standardized. There's no tricks, there's no extra payments, there's no balloon payments. You're essentially going to pay for a certain amount of years on a fixed rate. So that could be 30 years, 15 years, 10 years, right? Whatever you choose, but most people go with 30 years. And right now with the high interest rates, you might want to go with an ARM loan where the rate's a little lower for the first few years and then it goes up or down based on the market. But what's the difference between FHA and conventional? Why would you want to go with one or the other? Essentially, most people want to go conventional. And why is that? Because there's a fee. FHA has a fee. It's about 2%. It gets rolled into your loan. You don't have to pay it at closing or anything, but your loan's going to be a little bit higher. So immediately you lose some equity. That's really the only difference. There is one other thing, the mortgage insurance. Every lender, I don't care where you go, they're going to require you to pay a type of insurance that protects the mortgage, so that if you don't pay your mortgage, they're protected. And that's called mortgage insurance. And they all require it. I don't care if you're at a bank or a mortgage broker, or it might be a private loan versus a government loan, a conventional loan versus FHA loan. The mortgage insurance is required. The only time it's not required is when the conventional loan, on a conventional loan, you put 20% down. Or you're living in your home long enough that there's 20% equity in the home. At that point, the mortgage insurance falls away. So that's where conventional definitely is superior, because it will save you a couple $100 a month. But FHA does have a lower interest rate. And right now, that's huge. I can still get you in the 4% on FHA, whereas conventional is in the 6% right now, high 5s, 6%. So it could make sense to do FHA because your payment could be lower. It just really depends, because on conventional, your mortgage insurance is decided by your credit score. So sometimes it's really high, and sometimes it's really low, depending if you have good credit or bad credit. And then you have that high interest rate on conventional, so that the payment on conventional can be a little too much. Whereas FHA has a lower interest rate, and the mortgage insurance is the same for everybody, whether you have good or bad credit, it doesn't matter. So there are advantages to FHA, even though you have to pay that little fee, 2%. No big deal if your house goes up 30%, 50%, 100% like it's been doing. But if you can go conventional, I do try to, especially when rates were about the same, and it might be in your best interest. I'd say if you have a high score, the conventional most likely makes sense. If you have a score in the 600s, the mortgage insurance will probably be too much and the rate will be too much. FHA will make sense. However, sellers really prefer to see a conventional approval. So if you can get a conventional approval, it's better to go that way to win the deal, especially in a crazy market. But right now, with the market down a bit, FHA is being accepted too, because there's not the crazy line at the houses anymore begging to buy a house. FHA, conventional, they're both generally accepted. And there's a big misconception that FHA, some reason, is worse than conventional, like it won't get approved in the end. It's not true. FHA is actually easier to get approved for. That's an advantage. FHA has more lenient guidelines. You can have a lower credit score. You can have a higher debt-to-income ratio. Those are the two biggest things that decline somebody. So if you have a 580 score and your debt-to-income is 55%, it could work. I could get you a loan. No way on conventional. You need at least a 620. Actually, you need more like a 720, to be honest. But technically, you can go down to 620, but the computer won't approve you until you're in the higher scores for most people. So FHA is great. It's a great loan. And don't worry if you get it. I mean, don't think it's a bad thing. It's the same exact loan, a few little different nuances. And for the seller, don't worry if the FHA is the approved borrower, if that's the loan they're going with, because it's actually easier to get approved for. Almost all my loans end up being FHA, and they close all the time. So anyway, that's the difference. And also for first-time home buyers, whatever you qualify for, whatever makes sense is what we'll do. It's the same loan, like I said, and I'll do what's best for you. So go to my website, apply, call me, text me, my number's on there. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. You have a great day.